Peace, family. Peace, 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 peace. I hope you guys are having such a sensational, okay, sensational day, okay, night, day, wherever you are. If not, do understand and get that your day, your life is going to get better once your perception gets better. And so I was here reading this book. I had showed you guys this book the other day. I had took a break from uploading, okay, and it's been about a week or so that I had took a break, and I would pre-record videos and upload them. So if you guys see some videos, those videos, some of them may be a little older, okay, except for the one that I did today. That video is from actually today, okay, that Dollar Tree video. And then some of the videos that I have also. Hey Tracy, PCA baby, PCA, PCA, PCA. So that video was like, kind of. Oh, let me turn this light on. That video, it was new. The one that I did today. Hold on one second. Okay, so I am excited, okay, about being back and making content, okay. But one of the things that I did along my break, okay, for 7 days, okay. One of the things that I had, and I believe it's been 7 days, because I'm trying to do the math, okay. Because when you start like the videos when I was pre-uploading and they was on a schedule to be, pushed out. I'm trying to see. I believe it's been 7 days. Okay. Hey Philip, peace to you, baby, peace to you, peace to you, peace to you. Oh no. And that was another thing because I was like, oh my goodness, I haven't done a live video, in a while. And how is it going to be when I come back doing live videos? Okay. Um, but the same, and no, I haven't given up on doing live videos. I just really needed to go within, right? And one of the things that I really wanted to come on here, this video is not going to be long. It's going to be rather short because my phone percentage is on 18%. Okay. But I really wanted to come on here and talk about your journey, right? And there's going to be things along the way, okay, on your journey that perhaps, sometimes it may not necessarily make sense, okay? Being right, you guys know I talk about manifestation a lot, okay? And I want to be very, very clear about manifestation, okay? Because, sometimes people may think that, I'm going to be able to manifest by just meditation and prayer and, things of that nature. And that's it, okay? I also talk to you guys about action, okay? One of the things that you have to understand is when I say your journey, okay, everything in our lives happens for a reason, okay? And as I was reading this book, well, as I am reading this book tonight, and I had this book for a minute, but yesterday I was in my closet and my intuition was like, get this book. And so I pulled the book down and I just started reading it. But one of the things I want to say is everything that has occurred in your life, and you guys have heard me say this several times, okay? There is no good or bad, okay? And I know some, people that probably may not believe it, okay, and that's okay. You are entitled to your belief, okay, and a belief is just thoughts that you continuously have, okay. um but there's no good or bad. There is just error, okay. We see what we tend to do, and is it producing the results that we say we want, right? And all the books that I tend to read, all the books, they all point to going within, okay? And it is funny because I know this guy who is, a friend of mine. Um, but when me and him talk or whatever, and he's into networking. I mean, not networking, but he's into like selling products and stuff. And one of the things that really kind of throw me off with him at times is because he sells from a standpoint of you need this in order for your life to get better, right? And I'd be the first to say, you guys hear me, I'm always talking about books and the books that I am currently reading. And I don't want you to negate the fact that, oh, well, the book is going to do it, right? The book is, if I don't read the book or if I, all these different things, I really want you to understand that the power is ultimately is all within you. Okay. Now, source will direct you, to get a book. Like I said the other day, I was in my closet yesterday. As a matter of fact, I was in my closet and my yacht, this book, it was standing out and my intuition said, get the book. And I started reading a book. Okay. But in the universe is going to be the universe is speaks in a sense of synchronicities, okay, so it's not going to speak the way I am speaking okay, but it is send things like symbols, imagery, or whatever it is. And your intuition has to be, on point where as though you can listen, okay, you can listen, you can be guided, and you follow up. But your journey, okay, your journey. Now, you may see that there's people that are accomplishing things, and you may feel like, well, why this not occurring in my life? I'm doing the same exact thing. And I tell you guys, like, everything is like, your journey is so unique. Your journey is for you, okay? And there's distractions out there that you may get thrown off course, and you may feel like, well, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and you try all these different things, and don't beat yourself up, okay, for you trying all these different things and feeling like, oh, well, I listened to this person and all these different things. A lot of the times we have to go through things and experience things in order to see that, what, I should have listened to my higher self. Okay. I should have listened to that inner voice, and not being upset or frustrated with the people or society, whomever, that have told you or had made you believe that, one, you are less than, or two, that you should do things a certain way, that you may have tried to do it that way, but you see that it is just not working, right? So you want to be mindful of your journey, but one of the things you guys always going to hear me say is action, action, action. Okay. You can meditate and pray and, do all those things all you want to, but ultimately you have to do action on your journey. Okay. And the action is pretty much a signal to the universe that you believe in yourself, that you believe that you desire to have these things. You believe that this is going to happen, right? And so when you showing up is from inspiration. You showing up like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I see myself here. But to just say, well, this is going to manifest, or, I'm just going to just sit on my rump and not do anything, you will not be, I don't want to say you won't manifest, okay, because I'm quite sure it's people that probably do sit on their rumps, okay? But ultimately, you need action. Okay, you need action. And where I am right now on my journey is really about studying. Okay. Because that's how you ultimately gain knowledge. Okay, studying and going within. And that's another thing, okay, because you could read certain things and still not have an understanding, overstanding, as they say. But is really about you going within and dissecting things that you have read, that you have learned, and things of that nature. So I wanted to do a video and say, your journey is very unique. Okay. What occurs in your life, we all experience pretty much the same exact thing. There's no biases in this here universe. Okay. It is pretty much what you plant into the soil, that is what you shall manifest. Okay. But if you are a person that's saying, I want my life to change, and there's an opportunity that presents itself for you to change your life, and you don't take that opportunity, then it's really like, do you really want your life to change? Okay. It becomes, or you just talk. When I had heard rapper B.O.B., talk about inner peace, and the way he spoke about it and about meditation, okay, I was open to meditate. Now, nobody in my family I have ever seen meditate, okay. Nobody who I was around was meditating. But I was so eager to take the necessary steps in order for my life to change that I was willing. Okay, you have to be willing. And willing so much that I would watch YouTube videos, okay? And I'm gonna do the guided meditation. And I didn't know if I was doing it right or wrong or whatever. But I just trusted the process that, you know, I had this, I think, subconsciously within me that as long as I am showing up and I am attempting, okay, to get better results, I will be guided. Okay. And I think that's like pretty much, how it is. It's like one of the things Dolores Cannon talks about, who talked about manifestations and, things of that nature. One of the things that she talked about was the universe is sort of like a dance, right? And you can't say that you want this or you want that. Well, you can, but chances of you having those things are very slim to none if you're not finna do something different. See, and it goes back to what I said before. Is the difference between a person that's saying, I want inner peace, and then they get a synchronicity which is the universe way of speaking. You know, you could be at a supermarket, you could be walking down the street, and you can overhear or turn on the television, radio, or whatever. You can overhear something that is telling, that is saying, you know, somebody could come, you could come across a book or something, and it's saying, you know, I gained inner peace by meditation, right? And then there's some people that'll listen to that or read it and say, you know, okay, but then they'll go on about their day and about their life as if they haven't seen it or heard it. Okay. Then there's some people that will get the synchronicity. Okay. We get the universe, you know, the downloads and the speaking of the universe, and they will follow up on it. Okay. And it is all going back to like, do you really want inner peace? Right. And so, like I told you guys, you know, back in 2018, when I had my spiritual awakening, I was willing to do things that one seemed foreign to, you know, my family members. They, you know, they thought I went off the loony bin. Okay, they thought I was crazy. Okay, you know, start eating different and everything like that. You know, and that's gonna happen along your way. So I want you to be prepared. But you know, it was so foreign than the way that I have been brought up and raised. But I was eager for something different. I knew I needed to do something different because everything that I was doing, it wasn't working. Okay. And so I started listening to different things. Okay. And instead of me, I tell you guys this all the time, instead of me watching, you know, certain movies or networks and stuff like that, what I started doing was I started going within. I started studying, you know, I started listening to personal development. I started eating healthier. Okay. And those things, from me doing those things, it was um like a domino sort of effect. Okay, by me doing this thing, it, you know, um then this thing occurred, then this thing would show up. It is almost as if the universe is sending you or giving you hints along the way after you do or follow up with your intuition, right? It'll give you the next hint or the next hint. Another thing I wanted to, you know, just touch upon real quick was this. Everything, I know there's some things that you may experience where as though it may seem like, oh my goodness, this is the end of it. Okay. That's like really, really drastic. But this is like, you know, you may say it's so bad, right? Some people go through divorces, but prior to that divorce, they may ask that they want a better spouse, right? And you may go through a breakup and or a divorce, and you may not understand it. You may be bent out of shape and frustrated and upset about you going through the divorce. But in life, you have to be mindful of what you wish for or what you ask for, okay? Because the universe is always delivering, okay? And if it would not be for that breakup, then you would not be able to manifest the person that you desire to be with, right? But everything is also about alignment, okay? One of the things that I had, so I tell you guys all the time, right? This goal book, okay. This book right here, okay, that I have, okay. Goals, no excuses. And in here, okay, you really have to write down exactly what it is that you desire, okay. And in this book, okay, I have pretty much everything. You know, the people, the friendships that I'm attracting, the car, the restaurants, the vacations, the amount of money, the health, how I am, right? My personality and everything like that. When one of the things about relationships, right? I think a lot of times, well, we have been brought up and taught that love is coming from outside you, right? If you want love, you have to be a certain way. You have to act a certain way, and all of that is due to programming, right? When you was a child, if you did it certain things a certain way, your parent, you know, you was in a good graces, or you was, you know, isolated or in a bad graces. Okay. And so we take on this belief system as we grow up, and we think that, oh, in order for me to have love, I have to act a certain way. And a lot of times is us going against ourselves, right? Us being a people pleaser, the nice person, in order for us to maintain that relationship, because we feel like, oh, well, if I say this or if I do that, you know, they won't like me any longer, or they wouldn't want me. And let me just say this, okay? If somebody don't want you because of, you know, if you say something, or if you create boundaries, if they don't want you any longer, then perhaps that relationship probably was a one-sided relationship, right? Meaning that it was all in the interest of that person. And you know, in life, you have to start looking at how you are showing up, okay? But to drive in on my point and to close this video is this. So one of the things that I have here for my relationship, right? And I think it's like 2 pages, a page and a half, about the ideal guy. Um, and you really have to become that. Okay. And so one of the things I say is, you know, my ideal guy, I want him to, you know, read to me, be a reader, you know, a master of himself. Okay. And if I'm not doing those things, and I was to come across someone that was like that, okay, it will pass me by. Why? Because I'm not even on that frequency that I desire to have. Okay. You have to be on that frequency. And so when I'm studying and I'm reading and, you know, all these different things, okay, to be in a relationship with a guy, okay, with a man who don't read, or a man that is constantly saying, well, why you reading this, you know, constantly looking to be entertained outside himself, okay, by whatever, okay, then that relationship wouldn't work, okay? And I know because I'm speaking from experience. You know, oftentimes, you know, I would say, oh, well, you know, I want a guy that, you know, works out in the gym and all these different things. But because I wasn't on that wave, okay, and I felt like, well, if they working out in the gym, you know, like and it was such programming. I felt like, if you working out in a gym, who are you trying to look good for? You know, it really, really, you know, and I remember having conversations with guys who I would be in relationships with, and all the guys that I dated mainly all worked out, okay? But I will always say, you know, who are you trying to look good for? Right? I didn't get the concept of they working out because they love their bodies, or they working out because, is a form of meditation, or they working out because, um, to be with themselves, or whatever it was. I will always equate that to who are you trying to look good for. And you know why I would do that is because when you feel that everything that you are doing, you are trying to impress others, then you automatically think that the next person is doing the same exact thing. Okay. That's what you think. So, with that being said, I love you guys. Make sure you guys are rocking out, believing in yourself, keep going, keep growing. Okay. Do understand that all the power lies within you. Meditate. Okay. And I'm gonna read this little short passage, okay, because I was reading this earlier. And one of the things it talks about is meditation. Meditation allows the experiencing of increasing levels of awareness beyond the regular state of waking consciousness, lead into the experiencing of cosmic consciousness, complete freedom. Okay, so when you meditate and you are going within, okay, you're not seeking all this stuff, all the information and stuff outside you. That's why I encourage you guys each and every day, okay, or throughout my videos. You hear me say meditate. You have to meditate. You have to go within. Okay. The books and stuff, they cool. It's like the books are like an assistant. Okay. But when you meditate, it's like you going within and you being in the here and the now moment, and you are not only you are being in the here and the now moment, but you also are able to pay attention to your thoughts, right? Well, to the thoughts that tend to show up. And instead of you reacting to things like, oh, I gotta react, I gotta do this or whatever it is like that. It's almost like you the observer. You just observe and see, why you tend to feel this way, why you tend to feel that way. And it's funny that I'm bringing it up because earlier today, right? Everything that we tend to do, there is a cause and effect to everything in life. That's how this here universe is, okay? And earlier, I was on a sofa, and it's these nuts that I tend to get from Trader Joe's, okay? And I was on a sofa, and I noticed, and this is what awareness do, and this is the purpose and the reason for you to meditate, because when you go within, you can see why you do some of the things that you tend to do. So, I was here and I was reading, okay, I was reading this book, and I had certain things going on in my mind, okay? And one of the things I'm gonna share with you guys, okay? So I have been reading Mayat philosophy, okay, this book right here, and then I also have been reading Dr. Lily Africa book, right? And one of the things that I noticed within myself, like a lot of the Black teachers, they don't necessarily talk about the ones that I read, okay? They don't normally focus upon like materialized things, right? And so one of the things that I started noticing was that I was reading Maya earlier, right? And one of the things that I was noticing was that I felt like, all right, well, you know, I don't want to read this, or I don't want to, do this necessarily right now, right? And I would see it such as sort of a separation, right? Sometimes, okay, through some of the books that I have, right? Like, oh, well, white people are supposed to, eat this way, black people are supposed to eat this way, all these different things, right? And so earlier today, I was questioning myself. I was, well, not questioning myself. I was asking these questions out loud. I was, here by myself. And I was here asking these questions out loud. And it's so funny because one of the things that came to my mind, right? Like listening to Dolores Cannon, okay? One of the things that she said, and if you guys don't know who Dolores Cannon is, she talked a lot about spirituality, about Esther terrestrials, I think that's how you pronounce it, aliens, UFOs, and spiritual realm, manifestation, all these different things, right? And one of the things that she said was that we have to come back in every form, like every form of being, right? So, like we have to go through being a part of different religions, all these different things. We have to experience every essence of life, okay? That way we can sort of get an understanding of, and not operate from a biased perspective, right? Because you was that thing before, or like whatever it is that you hate. Basically, she was saying like you a comeback ass, okay? And she was saying like, if you're a person that don't like gays or whatever it is like that, she was pretty much saying that you will come back as that. And so earlier I was thinking, and I was saying, well, if that is true, right? Then to me, like I question everything. Okay. So one of the things I was saying, well, if that is true, then why did the universe make it where as though is men and women and procreation for us to procreate, right? And then another thing of mine is I was saying, well, maybe because, everybody is not here to procreate, right? And that goes back to your journey. Your journey is unique and, things of that nature. And so one of the things that I started thinking about was is in this here avatar, in this here vehicle, right, that we are currently in, what if it is for you to, I know it's for you to learn how to love yourself, okay? Getting rid of the teachings and the belief systems of, you have to do this in order to get love or whatever it is, but self-love, it starts with you, right? And so, I started thinking, and I was saying, like, the teachings from, Dr. Lily Africa, the teachings from this book, My Eye, those teachings, those are all forms of self love, right? The way you eat, the way you treat your body, and instead of me being on a mindset of, well, I want to manifest, right? I want to manifest this house, this car, and, these things, these materialized possessions, is all about first you loving yourself, right? And so I had this like thing going on within myself, this, I don't want to say battle, but I'm sitting on the sofa and I'm going through this thing, and I'm here by, with my higher self, and I'm asking these questions, right? And one of the things that came up for me was, well, if you are reading and the teachings of Dr. Lily Africa, Dr. Sabi, and one of the things I remember Dr. Sabi saying was self-love, right? Love. And he was like, that was pretty much the only thing that mattered, because when you love yourself, you're going to do certain things that is going to be like a demonstration of self-love, right? And so as I'm reading the books and everything like that, I start thinking, right? Peace, goddess of the sun, peace here, baby, peace there, peace there. I started thinking, well, the things that you are reading, perhaps, okay, now we know our bodies are avatars, okay? And you choose the body, okay, before you incarnate. And so, I start thinking, like, all right, you came into this body and you have to get rid of all the dogma, right? All the belief systems and things of that nature, and go back. It's almost like going to the drawing board and everything that was on the board, okay, all the beliefs, upbringing and everything like that you ever had, the religion beliefs and society's expectations of you, the culture, okay, and all these different things. It's like you gotta erase everything. You gotta erase everything, and you literally have to be born again. Okay, and born again, just renewal of the mind. You have to renew your mind, and so that's where I was at earlier. And what I noticed, the reason I'm bringing this up, because everything has substance, okay, and so as I'm not knowing off top the answers, right, and I'm questioning, I'm asking these questions aloud, okay, by myself, okay, with my higher self. And I'm asking these questions, and I started noticing that the peanuts that I got from Trader Joe's, right? Because I didn't know the answers right off top, right? Sometimes you have to ask these questions aloud in order for you to put things into perspective and start analyzing, certain belief systems or things of that nature. And when I do it, when I ask these questions out loud, I get an answer. Okay. It's almost like you could even answer your own question. Okay. But that takes you being by yourself at times. Okay. Because you got to get to know yourself. And if you don't know yourself, then you don't even know why you do some of the things that you do. And if you also don't know yourself, you don't know no one around you. You just feel like people just come into your life just cause. Like it's no substance, it's no meaning behind it. And everything has meaning. So I'm sitting on the sofa and I have these nuts, and then I just kept eating the nuts, right? And I noticed and I said, oh, I am doing this because of frustration, because it's certain things that don't make sense. okay. Certain things don't make sense. And you could be a person that says, well, I just, eat or whatever. I just, eat. And it's so funny because I know in Dr. Lily Africa book, this book right here, it talks about emotional eating. And it's funny because this book is almost they have like a lot of things in common, okay, but in this book with Dr. Lily Africa, one of the things right here, the snack food groups, okay? Bready relieves feeling of insecurity and soothes, okay? Dissatisfaction, okay? Chewy, crunchy helps release anxiety and social pressure, okay? Caused by a cultural abrasion, white control, okay? Salty redirects anger, frustration, violence. And so the other day when I was reading this, okay, one of the things, and I came across Dr. Lily Africa's teachings before when one of the things that really caught my attention was when he said people who feel like they can't receive love or give love, they oftentimes look for sweets, okay? Help satisfy the need to give or receive love. And so sometimes we just think like, well, like for instance, for me, you know, sometimes, well, for me, I don't want to say for me, but when I was a kid, okay, I would eat a lot of sweets, okay? And I didn't never make no connection to, oh, it's because of receiving love or inability to give love or anything of that. I just would associate with, you have a sweet tooth or whatever it is. But the more I started studying, some of the things Dr. Lily Africa said was like, oh my goodness, that's so true. And one of the things he said was, everything, mainly, like Valentine's Day is associated with chocolates, with sweets, okay? When you go see your grandmother and your grandmother may say, hey sweetie, or sugarfoot, or, he ain't say sugarfoot, but hey sugar, or give me some sugar, right? And all of those things would be associated with love subconsciously. And as I was reading it and came across the video of Dr. Lily Africa, I said, oh my goodness. So when I say that is not a such thing as, sometimes in life we think, well, I just do that. Just, I just do it, right? But it's a reason behind everything. And if you go deep within yourself and start spending time with yourself, it's funny because the other day my oldest son was here. Oh, which cover, Tracy? Is it this one or is it the other book? Okay, hopefully you got it. And then let me see. And then is this one. So that's the purpose of spending time with yourself. So getting back to my next point, and then that's it. My oldest son was here, right? And I noticed my oldest son, he have I guess some things he haven't gotten over yet, right? And the other day, me and him had a conversation, and one of the things that I often say is, if you don't get over, or if you don't start doing the work, right? on yourself, and forgiveness is key, okay, then it would show up in other forces of your life, right? Relationships, finances wise, or throughout the areas of your life, right? And so the other day, my oldest son and I was talking, right? And he, talking about his relationships, and things of that nature. And I remember my oldest son, I said, you're gonna have to go and be by yourself. Like, have you ever been in a room, a dark room, or a room with a light in there, like with no television, um, no phone, just the phone may be in there, but you just in a room and you just sitting with your thoughts, sitting with the thoughts, right? And one of the things he said was no. And he said, you never done that. And I done that several times. I have done that several times. Just sitting in a room by myself and just sitting with the thoughts, right? And analyzing and being an observer. And so me and him, we talking and stuff like that. And, he was telling me like how he felt, okay, about his childhood. And he was like, oh, I felt like there was, favoritism, him, saying my oldest daughter, I favored my oldest daughter better than him. He also felt, that I could have been a better parent. And but he followed up with, but I know, you couldn't give me basically something that you didn't have, right? And I like having conversations like that, with my children. Now, I remember once upon a time I used to feel like, oh, I'm the parent, everything I do, is right, okay? And I used to think that way, but it's so funny how you can be parenting your children and think that, well, this is, everything is right. And it's also coming from a place that you did the best that you knew how to do. And he said, you couldn't give it to, no, he said, the way you are now, I wish you was like that when I was a child, right? And he was talking about my two youngest children, his two smaller siblings. And he said, I wish the way you are with them, I wish you was like that with me, like when I was a child. And one of the things that, at times you have to understand is this, right? Everything come, and there's a divine timing for everything, right? And sometimes we feel like, well, I'm ready to go to the 10th grade, okay? But you haven't even started, high school yet. Probably you're still in the 8th grade. And in this here universe, there's not a such thing as skipping levels, okay? Is you have to do it in levels, okay? It's not a such thing, well, I'm gonna just skip this level, right? I'm gonna just skip this lesson, this learning. I'm gonna just skip it and just go to the next one. There's not a such thing as that. Everything that happens, it happens for a reason. And it's for you to start looking at your life and start understanding, what can I do different? Not to beat yourself up, not to feel shame or guilt, but what can I do different? Right? Like, how can I become the greatest version of myself? And that's what I aspire to be, right? The greatest version of myself. And to me, right now on this journey, that is more important than the manifestations, right? Because one of the things that I start understanding was this too a few days ago, when I took the week off, was, you manifesting, like the manifestations that you desire to have, they're going to come into your life. But wouldn't you want to be like the best version of yourself? Right? Like as the manifestations come, wouldn't you want to be the best version of yourself? And that includes health wise, that includes mindset wise, that includes all those things. And when I start looking at it and thinking like, I aspire to be the highest version of myself that I could possibly be. And so I say that to say this, okay, that when certain things show up in your life, it's not a bad thing. Okay, it is all to inspire you, aspire you to get you to the highest version of yourself that you could possibly get to. Okay. So it's all working for you. It's all working in your favor, right? It's all according to your perception. James Allen, one of the things he says, as a man thinketh, okay, what you believe, okay, what the man believes, okay, what if a man say he can, he can. If he says he can't, he can't. And that's really what it's about. Whatever you believe for yourself, that's exactly what is going to keep showing up for you, right? But it comes a point in time where so you start questioning everything, right? And I highly encourage, even my videos, question everything, when certain things don't make sense or whatever, question it, okay? Because that's how you're gonna get understanding. I don't when I hear people say certain things, even people that society will consider gurus, okay, which life is my guru. But when I hear people say certain things, I question it, like I question it like I did earlier today, but that don't, well, why is that like that, and is really you going within. So with that being said, without further ado, I love you guys. Make sure you guys rocking out, believing in yourselves, keep going, keep growing, keep showing up for yourself, and do understand that it all lies within. Okay, everything is within, and you have to go within, meaning that you have to spend some time with yourself. You have to get to know thyself. You have to meditate. Okay, and be still. Okay, be still. Until next time, I love you guys. Peace.